This video, we're going to be talking about how Medicare works for people who keep working past the age of 65. Let's jump right in. Should I delay my Medicare? So if you are still working, that is an option. You don't have to get on Medicare. Number one is if you have access to qualified employer coverage, and we will talk more about what that means in a moment. Number two, does my employer have more than 20 employees? Is the coverage affordable and is it working? So those are the main four questions, and we're going to go into more detail on each of those on deciding whether or not you should go into Medicare or stay with your employer coverage. Number one, is my current plan considered creditable? So you should receive a notice each year from your employer or your union health plan. Your group health plan is required to send this notice each September, and it's very important that you hang on to it. Here are some examples or a model of a notice for creditable coverage. You can see the height that it's insert name of company has determined that the prescription drug coverage is expected to pay out as much as Medicare. But that's what it means to be creditable, that it's equal to Medicare or close enough. You want to make sure and keep that notice of creditable coverage. If it's non-creditable, here's a model of that. So it's determined that the prescription drug coverage offered by the plan is on average not expected to pay out as much as Medicare. So if it's non-creditable, that's important. So if it is creditable, it's similar enough to Medicare, then you can stay with that employer coverage if you choose. If it's not, then you're going to want to go on to Medicare. Otherwise, there will be a penalty associated. The second question, is it more than 20 employees or less than 20 employees? If it is more than 20 employees, what that means is your employer coverage is the primary insurer. They pay first, and Medicare is secondary. If it's less than 20 employees, Medicare is the primary. So if you're employed by an employer that has less than 20 employees, then you should go on to Medicare and leave your employer coverage. If you have an employer that's more than 20 employees, you could do either or. You could stay or switch. Now, trying to decide if you should stay or switch, the big question is it affordable? So in Medicare, your cost is $185 per month. Your employer coverage, we don't know what that will be. You fill in the blank there to compare. Your Medicare can cost more or less depending on your income, but the standard amount that the vast majority of people pay is $185 per month. So take that number and compare it to what your share of your employer coverage is. And then as far as the coverage comparison, so fill in the blank for your employer coverage. With Medicare, your premium, $185 per month. Your deductible, $0. There's no deductible you have to hit. Your maximum out of pocket, between $4,000 and $6,000, and typically includes some extra benefits like dental and vision and hearing and things like that. This all depends on the plan that you choose, but these are typical numbers with Medicare. You'll have to fill in the blank on your employer coverage to see how those compare to Medicare. Okay. If you decide to go onto Medicare, there's two different enrollment scenarios. If you're already receiving Social Security retirement benefits, your Medicare will actually start automatically, and you'll get your Medicare card and your welcome to Medicare about 3 months before your 65th birthday. If you are not receiving Social Security retirement benefits and you want to go onto Medicare, you'll have to manually enroll. You'll do that about 3 months before your 65th birthday. You can apply for Medicare. You can do that in person at the Social Security office. We recommend that you call and make an appointment. Or you can do it online, and that is the easiest, quickest way to do it, is through Social Security's website, ssa.gov, and you can apply for Medicare to start. Okay. If you decide, I want to keep working, I don't want to go onto Medicare yet. If you're on Social Security and they send you your Medicare card, but you don't want it yet, on the back of your Medicare card, there's instructions on how to defer your Part B. There's a box that you check, you sign, and then you put it in an envelope that they provide and send it back. And that will defer your Part B starting. And then when the time comes that you are ready to enroll into Medicare, About 3 months before you're ready to retire, you'll want to start this process. You don't want to wait until you retire and then try and start it because it takes some time for things to get completed. There is this form that you will need to fill out. The top portion, Section A, and Section B will be completed by your employer. And what this is it's verification that you've been on employer coverage from when you turn 65. Because otherwise Medicare will penalize you if you're without coverage. You just have to fill this out, your employer fills it out, and then you will give it to the Social Security office and recommend setting up an appointment with them to give them this form and get your Medicare started. There's no ability to answer questions through this video, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks.